Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Tournament Takes. Today I'm going to break down the six-game Draftkings NBA slate for you guys. Yesterday went pretty well. I ended up cashing most of my core. Unfortunately, Blake Griffin got injured. I was on Steph Curry and Blake Griffin 100%. Russell Westbrook kind of had that big game, so he was $100 more than Curry in the last slate. And Blake Griffin kind of had a concussion. He went into concussion protocol at the halftime, which led to a 20% owned Josh Jackson kind of smashing his price tag. Overall, I ended up losing about 15 or $20 or so. I'll post the link down below in my on my Twitter so you guys can kind of see what my lineup was like. But that was my core yesterday. So today I want to kind of break down the six-game slate and tell you guys some really, really good spots to target. There is going to be a lot of chalk from Atlanta, some chalk from Memphis that I think is good. But I think this is a tournament take that you guys want to really, really, pay attention to and kind of, really, really try to get these plays in your lineup. So if you guys like the information I provide, please like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Helps me grow the channel and bring more information to you guys and help you guys all do well. So let's get into it, guys. Again, six-game DraftKings NBA slate. We got a lot of studs at the top. We got Luka at the top on this slate. We got Lillard, and then a lot of people are gonna be flocking to Trae Young from Atlanta. People are gonna be flocking to Kyrie at 8,900 from Brooklyn. Kevin Durant is really cheap at 8,400 against Brooklyn. But I'm going to kind of show you guys what I'm starting my builds with on this slate, and kind of show you guys what I want to do on the slate. So, a lot of people are going to Atlanta and Brooklyn because it's a high total, because it's going to be a tight game. You don't have Spencer Dinwiddie there, which is going to lead to a lot of caris levert being owned, I feel like. But I think most of the people might ignore caris levert. I think his ownership will probably be the lowest out of Kyrie, Levert, and Durant. So it's a spot that I really think it's good for caris levert. In this high tempo game, if I want some exposure to it, I really kind of want Karis LeVert. But the person that I'm most interested from on Brooklyn is DeAndre Jordan. Now, I'm not sure if DeAndre Jordan is going to get the start or not, but he played 30 minutes against Memphis. Now, we may or may not get Clint Capella in. I think he's questionable, or I think he's probable to play. So, what I think is that they will likely give DeAndre Jordan some minutes to match up with Clint Capella. Now, if DeAndre Jordan doesn't get the minutes, I think it's going to be Allen. I think it's one or two of them. He did put up a good game against Memphis. I really like him at in this spot, and I think he's really, really underpriced. So I'm starting my builds today with DeAndre Jordan. Now, this may change. It's still only about 12:30 here on the West Coast, so we still got about 3.5 hours to lock, or about 4 hours today. I think lock is at 4:30. So I really, really like DeAndre Jordan. We did get some news earlier this morning. Initially, I was on Marc Gasol from the Lakers. I felt this was a really, really good matchup for him against Aldridge. We just got news that Aldridge may not be going, so you're going to have Jakob Poeltl ending up probably getting the start. I also think he's a really, really good play. And you're going to a lot of people. We got news that someone from Boston, because Boston's on a back-to-back today. We got news that most likely Tristan Thompson is out, so people are going to be loading up on Theis and Robert Williams. My centers, guys, today is going to be very condensed. People might be paying up for Nurkic. People might be paying up for Bam. Maybe Collins, Capella, PJ Washington. I think is in a good spot, but overall, guys, for my center position, I'm just going to be rolling with probably Daniel Theis. I may have a share or two of Robert Williams. I'm playing 9 lineups today, but most likely it's going to be a DeAndre Jordan with a combination of Poeltl, Theis, and then I may have some exposure to most likely to Marc Gasol. Now, so those are going to be the four centers. I'm going to kind of be rotating it in and trying to get as much exposure many different ways as I can. My favorite probably being it's kind of a tie right now. I'm not really sure, but they're all around 4,100, which makes the double center value really, really good today. You also got news that on Memphis that most likely, John Morant's injured. He's going to be out for a while. Melton is injured. I really like starting the Bills today, guys, with Tyus Jones. I feel he's in a good spot. People are going to play Dylan Brooks. People are going to play Kyle Anderson, both of whom I think are in good spots. But personally, I'm my number one from this team is probably Tyus Jones because you need that value, right? You guys need some value. The approach I'm taking on this game is going to be a little different. I might be fading Kyrie and Durant in most of my lineups. Now, that may end up killing me, guys, but this is called tournament takes for a reason. This is just tournament lineups. I mean, if you guys are playing cash, you can absolutely make a good case for Kyrie and Durant. But personally, I think I might be paying up for one of the studs, especially on a 6 game slate, that I think is in a really good spot. So from this game right now, Memphis and Boston, I kind of like Theis and I like Tyus Jones. So I'm probably gonna I want some correlation there. So I may get Theis in this lineup, and I probably will have a mixture. I mean, you could also actually go ahead and play all three centers if you wanted to. Theis, Jordan, and potentially Jakob Poetl. But for right now, I'm going to take a two kind of center build and go from there. So let's see if I can plug. Excuse me, if I can plug Theis into the util spot. Okay, Daniel Jones, Tyus Jones, sorry. So another spot that before I get to this Atlanta Brooklyn game, another spot that I really like, guys, is this Charlotte and Dallas game. Now this game is projected to be one of the slower games on the slate, but I really think Luka Doncic is in a smash spot here. With all the people going to Kyrie and going to Durant, Luka 26 minutes against the Clippers 48 fantasy points. If this game is close, Luka can drop a 70 burger here. So I'm going to be starting my builds today, guys, with Luka Doncic, and I'm fading Kyrie in favor of that and kind of going a little more stars and scrubsy on this slate. On the other side, I really like Gordon Hayward because if this game is close, Gordon Hayward has a pretty good track record against Dallas. His usage is way up this season. He's taking a lot more shots and he's getting peripherals. So I think he's in a really, really good spot. So I'm going to be playing him alongside Luka Doncic. At the shooting guard position, I really like Tyler Hero, guys. I think, from this Milwaukee game, these guys both are Milwaukee and Miami played last night as well. We saw that Tyler Hero actually put up a really, really big game. Now, I think Jimmy Butler just got ruled out. Okay. So because Jimmy Butler is out, you're going to see, a lot of ownership on these guards with, Dragic, with Tyler Hero. I'm just going right back to Tyler Hero. Now, this could be a very similar outcome. Like yesterday, I told you guys that I really liked, Chris Middleton in the spot, and I didn't end up getting to him. I had Curry and Blake Griffin. I could have gone Julius Randle and Chris Middleton, and I finished with like 300. I could have finished with like a 340 in that lineup. So it was just a couple pieces off. So I'm not going to make that same mistake today. I really think, in the lineups that I'm getting Tyler Hero in, I want some exposure to Chris Middleton because I feel like he can still put up that pretty big game. So I'm going to play Middleton, and I'm going to play, what do you call it? I'm going to play Gordon Hayward at the power forward position. That leaves you with two positions, guard and forward. So you guys can kind of decide in this scenario what you want to do here. Like I said, you could play Theis at the forward position. I think PJ Washington also is in a really good spot. You could play Theis in the forward position. You could play Jakob Poetl, and that leaves you about 6,600, which is not enough to get up to caris levert, which is something that I really want to do. You could play Devontae Graham on the other side. I don't know if I really want to go there. You could play Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday had a really good game against Milwaukee last night. So you could take Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton, or you can take Jrue Holiday and then maybe pay up for maybe caris levert at small forward. I don't know if is caris levert small forward eligible. Oh, only point guard and shooting guard. Oh man. Okay, so maybe a small forward, 7,100. So I also really like guys DeMar DeRozan in this spot. I think he's in a good spot against the Lakers. So you can go something like this. I think this is a good build if you want to put all the value in there. And you kind of get some of these stars and scrubs. You get DeRozan, Hayward, Levert, and Luka. And then you get some of the $4,000 value. So I think I'm going to be doing some builds like this, guys. I'm also going to be doing builds with just two centers, which I'm going to be doing like with Theis and in lineups that I played DeRozan, and I kind of want to have some Marc Gasol exposure, but I think Theis is just, he's projected to get the better of the minutes. So I think Theis might be one of the staples in my lineup tonight, guys. He's going to be getting the minutes with the injury news and the back-to-back people being out there. So I really kind of like that. Damn it, it keeps going to that. Okay, let's figure this out. Let's get rid of DeRozan. So at the point guard position, guys, I really like Luka today. And I kind of like I don't mind Kyrie. I don't mind Trey Young. If you guys are going in that game, I think a full Atlanta Brooklyn stack is solid. But the thing I see here is I could see this game kind of getting out of hand, if especially if Brooklyn is hitting their shots. I could see the game getting out of hand. So and also the prices are they're good, but they're I just feel on a 6 game slate, guys, you guys want to kind of get it a little different. And anytime you get Luka at low ownership, I'm willing to take a shot at it. You also have Damian Lillard going up against the Clippers. It's a really good matchup for Dame. And last year, if you guys remember the bubble, we had some back and forth between Beverly, Paul George, and Dame. This might really a really really good spot for Dame to come out and kind of have a bounce back game. He hasn't shot the ball well to start the season. He had a decent game against LA, but yes, and overall he's been a little cold to start the season. I think this is a spot where he could bounce back, but I might pay that $700 more for Luca. From the Lakers guys, LeBron and AD, I'm just not really playing the Lakers too much now. I think Lakers, coming off that 71 day rest, and starting the new season, I feel like they don't need to kind of push their guys out. They know they're going to make the playoffs. So, you could play someone like a Kyle Kuzma. I like Marc Gasol. So I like pieces of it. Let's get to some of the Memphis chalk. So I told you guys I do like Tyus Jones in this lineup. I feel like he's going to get the exposure. And especially if you're playing Daniel Theis, maybe you want to run it back with the Tyus Jones. I think Dylan Brooks and Kyle Anderson are also in good spots because of power forward eligibility. I may go with Anderson. I may be mixing in some Anderson and some Dylan Brooks. At the forward position, let's see if we can plug in Theis. And that leaves you 6,900. Maybe you can go and get Caris LeVert at the util position, guys. So these are the kind of builds that I'm going to be targeting today. You can put LeVert in here. You can put a DeMar DeRozan in here. So most of my builds are going to look like this. I'm going to be playing a lot of small forwards, a mixture of some, power forwards that are around that 4K range, and a mixture of the uh, most likely, I think Tyler Hero and Luke are gonna be staples in my lineups, and I'm gonna be working around the rest. So for my core today, guys, this is again before lock. This is 12:30. Before lock today, I really really like Luka Doncic. I think this is a great spot for him. So I'm going to be much heavier on the field to Luka Doncic. I also told you guys I really really like DeAndre Jordan. I think this is a potential smash spot for him, guys. So I really want to get some exposure here. I think between LaMarcus Aldridge potentially being ruled out against LA, you might see a lot of people start to gravitate towards Jakob Poetl, which might drop DeAndre Jordan's ownership because people are going to want to play these bigger guards. So, like I said, I think you can play both of them. And there's lineups that I will be doing both of them. Memphis, I do like Tyus Jones. I think Tyus is probably going to be a staple in my lineups today, guys. Um, Maybe not a staple, but I think he is going to be, a mixed into my lineup. But for the most part, I'm not really on other people. I'll kind of go through position by position, kind of tell you guys where I'm at. Today, guys, I'm not going to be playing any Trey Young. I'm likely not going to be playing any Kyrie Irving, and I'm probably not going to be playing any Durant. From the Brooklyn team, I like Caris LeVert and DeAndre Jordan. At the Okay, so let's go team by team. From Memphis, guys, I really like Tyus Jones, and I'll take some shots on. I prefer Kyle Anderson and then Dylan Brooks, but most likely for me, it's going to be mostly Tyus Jones with some Kyle Anderson mixed in. I think it's a good spot for Dylan Brooks. I may try to get there, but I think like for $700 more, I think I may take DeMar DeRozan. And Dylan Brooks is going to be asked to do quite a bit because there's so much usage, now with Morant out, so much usage to go around. But I think, people are going to kind of gravitate to Dylan Brooks. And I think Tyus Jones may actually be the forgotten man, even though he may be projected for high ownership now. I kind of like to see that. I kind of think we see that switch as the day goes on. So I kind of want to plug him in too. From the Boston guy side, I really like Daniel Theis. I think Marcus Smart's in a good position. Teague's in a good position. But for me, with these guys being on a back-to-back, I really don't like taking jump shooters on a back-to-back. If Jason Tatum is out, I will likely get some exposure to Jaylen Brown. I think it's a good spot for him. But if Jason Tatum's out, then I'm most likely going to be playing Daniel Theis in a majority of my lineups. So that's kind of where I'm going with Boston. So Jaylen Brown and Theis pending the Tatum news. So Theis number one, and probably Jaylen Brown number two is where I'm going to be at. If you see that, Jason Tatum's out, I think Jaylen Brown has to become a staple in your lineups, guys. And he's the same price as Aaron Gordon. Sorry, Gordon Hayward, which is really going to drop his ownership down. So that's another spot that I really like. Atlanta at Brooklyn, for me, it's going to be from the Atlanta side. It's really spread out. We have now Gallinari's in, Collins is in, Capella's in. So it's a healthy team. So I'm not really comfortable taking a one-off from any of this team. Excuse me. You could take someone like a Bogdanovich. You could take a Trae Young, but I feel like the scoring can come from many different ways. And I would rather pay up for that Memphis value. And that's kind of why I'm not really taking too much on the Brooklyn side either, is because it's kind of hard to nail that game stack down. I feel like you can make a game stack out of it, but it's kind of hard to figure out where that value is going to kind of come from. For me, I think it's the most, kind of obvious option to me is Caris LeVert, while people are going to kind of go to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. I think with that second unit and with Dinwiddie being out, I think Caris LeVert is the one who sees the biggest bump because Kyrie and Durant are still starting together. Caris is kind of coming off the bench. I would assume that they maybe start TLC, but who knows? Like, I mean, we could see, something crazy. TLC had a big game last time out, so we could see something like that. For me, I'm kind of leaning towards Caris LeVert, and I like his price. On Milwaukee side, I really like Chris Middleton. I'm going to find a way to get him in my lineup. Like I said, let's see if I can plug in Caris LeVert at the small forward. I can't. Why? They changed his eligibility, right? Okay, so I'll have to plug him in here. And then, like I said, I like Middleton quite a bit from Milwaukee side. I mean, you could play Giannis, you could play DiVincenzo, you could play Drew, all good options. But my number one option from this team is kind of Middleton. Giannis, he played last night. They didn't need much from him at 10-8. I'd rather go with Luka. Brook Lopez is a decent option, but for me, it's just Middleton had great games against this team in the playoffs. He's the guy that I'm going to be targeting today from this team. And then on the other side, I really do like Tyler Hero. I feel like with Tyler Hero and Dragic, with with Jimmy Butler out, I feel like that opens up quite a bit of usage. And then, on the Charlotte side, like I said, I want someone to run it back with on Luka. I really like Gordon Hayward as my number one option from this team. Earlier in the day, I was considering Bismack Biyombo and PJ Washington. I think their ownerships are going to be severely depressed, and I feel like that's not someplace you need to go now. This earlier in the day, I was considering this, but now that the Dice value's opened up, I feel like you don't really need it. And then I do really like, you may not even, honestly, you may not even need Tyus Jones at this point because of the fact that there's so much value. You can plug in someone at the small forward position and maybe plug in like Hero right here at the guard. Oops. Tyler Hero. And then at the forward, maybe you plug in someone like Gordon Hayward, right? And that gives you about 3,800 to kind of fill out the last position. So maybe in a lineup like this, maybe you don't necessarily pay DeAndre Jordan, or you don't play Middleton. Maybe you can go DeRozan here, right? DeMar, and then plug it in with a $4,100 center. Or if you really want to play Middleton, which is something like I'm going to likely do, I'm going to kind of enter these into my crunches and kind of figure out which way I want to go and what my core is going to be. But I'm going to kind of explain, those are the spots I'm kind of interested in, Patty Mills, not someone I'm really going to. Morris, not really. Markeep's not really somewhere where I'm going. For San Antonio, I think it's really going to be Vassell might start to pop late in the day. You might see him. He's with LaMarcus Aldridge out, I think he makes a really really good value play. That's someone I really think you guys should keep in mind. Someone that I'm gonna I'm glad I mentioned because I'm probably going to keep in mind as well. I think he does see a minutes boost. Maybe they plug him into the starting lineup. Who knows? But I think it might be Jakob Poeltl, but Vassell might be an interesting play as well. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. From Portland, the Clippers, you may get Kawhi Leonard out, which I think might bump up Paul George's ownership. Overall, like if I'm playing this game, I'm probably playing Damian Lillard and maybe taking one of the side, maybe Paul George, because of the back and forth, I think you want some correlation there. So if Leonard's out, you might see Paul George make his way into some of my lineups along with Damian Lillard. But the only lineups that I'm going to be playing Damian Lillard, I'll probably have someone from the Clippers. So for me, guys, the staple of my lineups today are most likely going to be these four. It's probably going to be Luka, Theis, Tyler Hero, and DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan, I'm still trying to figure it out. Most likely, he's going to be a staple in my lineup, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. And I think with the small forward and the forward position, so shooting guard, I think for me it's going to be point guard. I think I'm going to be playing Luka Doncic 100% today. So this is going to be a lineup that I'm kind of just taking a stand on, a slate that I'm taking a stand on. It's a small slate, so I am probably not going to have any exposure to Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant's cheap, guys. I mean, this is against Atlanta. This is a high-paced game, so that is some place where you may want to go. For me, it's just I can see the spots where I can take leverage on. Kevin Durant 8,400. He's had decent games against Charlotte, Boston. Golden State was an up pace game. He still put up 40 fantasy points. But like I said, I can see the scoring come from other places. If Kevin Durant it doesn't have a good game, I really like the pivot. Now, I think it's not that he's going to have a good game, but I don't think he can break the slate. I think caris levert in this spot can really, really smash. I mean, we saw what he did without Kyrie and Durant. Even with Kyrie and Durant against Golden State, he put up 45 fantasy points. Now, I'm not sure if Dinwiddie was in for this game, but this is somewhere where I really like getting the leverage. So I probably will have a lot more exposure to caris levert from this Brooklyn team. And I kind of like DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan, I'm going to try to figure out how I can fit it. I may not have too much exposure. I mean, I have 9 lineups, so I'll probably have him at least 3 or 4 lineups. I just don't know if I'm going to have him in all my lineups because I really like Jakob Poeltl as well, and I also do like Theis. So I might plug in Theis at the. So if we were to do something like this, right? If I was to plug in Theis at the center position, and then I was to plug in, say, I wanted to take someone like maybe a Marcus Sol. Let's say I take Marcus Sol just for the sake of being 4,100. Center position. Let's say I take Marcus All. And I'm a little hesitant on Marcus All too, because if Aldridge is out, they may not need to match up as big. So maybe Marcus All's minutes get kind of limited. So I will be lighter than him than I thought I would have been earlier in the day. Maybe Devin Vassell kind of makes his way into my lineup. But I think Marcus All, Theis, or let's just plug in Jakob Poeltl. On the other side, I think maybe he gets the minutes. We'll have to see who's starting. But if Vassell's starting, he'll probably make his way into my lineup somehow or the other. And then I really like I told you guys, once pending that news, maybe we get news that. So I really like Gordon Hayward at the power forward position. This slate, guys, it's a 6 game slate, but this slate is absolutely loaded. I mean, usually on the 10 game slate, it's loaded because there's so many stars. This slate, I think DraftKings, they did a really, really good job with the pricing. So like the small forward and the power forward position today is amazing. You have so many different options you can go with. Middleton, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, DeMar DeRozan. You could pay up for Kevin Durant. So it's a really, really good spot. So say you play someone like that with DeRozan, small forward at 4,800. Luke Kennard may start. If Paul George is out, he may start. Not somewhere where I'm gonna go, but viable option. So maybe we go with DeRozan at small forward. Or you know what? I kind of want to prioritize Middleton a little bit. I think Middleton is in a really good spot. So Luka, Gordon Hayward, Middleton, Tyler Hero, Theis. I want someone from that Boston, from that Memphis squad. So I don't know if I can fit in Tyus Jones because I don't know if he has shooting guard eligibility. That kind of makes it a little tough. Maybe. Oh yeah. So maybe I can plug in Tyus Jones here. I can plug in Tyler Hero at the shooting guard position. And then you leave about $6,000. You can kind of get creative with it. You can go with Kyle Anderson here at the forward position. You can pay down at Middleton, maybe get DeMar DeRozan in there, maybe pay down at to a cheaper guard and maybe get Caris LeVert in here. So there's plenty of different ways to go, guys. For the most part, I think my core is just going to be, honestly, it's going to be Tyler Hero probably, Luka Doncic, Theis, and I'll leave DeAndre Jordan out for now, but I really like him. Just know that probably if I had to pick four, it's going to be DeAndre Jordan. This is kind of got to be my four, guys. So I hope you guys do really well today. I don't think I'll have an update for this video. I have some work to take care of, but take a look at the comment section down below. I will definitely have, if I've changed some of my plays, I will definitely post it on my Twitter. But good luck today, guys. Hope you guys have an amazing slate, and really, really look for that value in that small forward and that power forward position. I think you guys really want to focus on DeMar DeRozan, Middleton. I really like Kyle Anderson. Who else? There's a lot of small forwards that I showed you guys in the Gordon Hayward. I'm probably going to be narrowing down my pool just to the players that I like, and then crunching and kind of seeing what comes up and kind of adjusting projections and adjusting my exposures a little bit. Honestly, now that I think about it, I love the slate so much. I may actually um, add in a few lineups. So good luck today, guys. I hope you guys do well on this DraftKings slate, December 30th, and we'll be back here tomorrow for the next one. Talk to you guys soon.